so honored to be back here. This is Eleanora Hart from Grace to Journey, and it's been a while since I have been on here, and I'm back from Malta. And this year it's gonna be a little different because I have an amazing, let's get straight to it, okay? Amazing guest from the UK. And forgive me if I pronounce your last name wrong or with my accent. So her name is Andrea Tennant Cox, a woman whose life is a remarkable testament to resilience, right? Not only that, healing, a transformation. Who doesn't want that, right? So from surviving and the devastating train crash, right, and to breaking free from decades and decades of narcissistic conditioning. And some of you will relate to this. Andrea's journey has taken her from just surviving, but to truly thriving. Wait for it, wait for it. And as she is also the co-founder of Enpower, not Empower, but Enpower. I just want to have that on a record. She is also a certified health coach, RTT practitioner. She'll explain more about what that is, and a passionate, very passionate advocate for personal transformations. She also combines science with mindset, spiritual wisdom. And that's the most important thing, right? And the law of attraction to help you, especially women, release limiting beliefs and heal generational patterns and reconnect your authentic selves, right? Your authentic selves. So this is a powerful conversation that we're gonna explore, and it means it will strip away the illusions, this, and that keep us trapped and reclaim our sovereignty, finally coming home to who we were always meant to be. So without further ado, I welcome you guys to this wonderful woman all the way from UK. Thank you for your time. And here she is, Andrea Tennant Cox. Tell us about yourself. Welcome.
Thank you very much for that amazing introduction. It's just lovely to actually realize how far you've come as a person, and realize that you can give so much to others who are sitting in the same place that I was all those years ago.
Yeah, it is, and you really cannot judge the book by its cover until you actually either willing to walk the walk where you have been, and not many people are willing to do that. Like everybody has different patterns. Like yourself, it's all about getting out of that illusion, right? But once you get to know someone and actually listen to understand their story, even though you have not gone through their story, and one of those unique story like you have intrigues me. Not only intrigues me, it's like I think it's time to bring this about in the world. So let's start by introducing who you, like how you come here to be, like your how you started, like to be this empower woman.
Well, I'm going to start with a quote,
Okay.
which I discovered actually today. And it's all about you were not born to live a small life.
Wow.
Everyone here, everyone listening was not born to live a small life, but we were conditioned from a very early age. And I would say my journey started from the day I was born, because I was born into earth and into a very conditioned ancestral societal machine, because it is a machine. And you are told right from the word go that you have to live small. And so I had many gifts. I could see auras, and I could I had some friends, imaginary friends as a child, who actually are still with me, but we'll discuss them later.
Yes.
But I was always told I was wrong. You know,
Wow.
you know, that's not what you did. You had to make other people feel comfortable. And
Mm.
I'm sure a lot of people here can relate to that, of always being told you're not good enough, you don't fit in, you're not worthy. And we are programmed from a very early age. So I think for the majority of people, including myself, I started life in that conditioned machine. So
Mm.
unless I could find a way out, that is how I grew up, and that is how, like, my father used to tease me a lot,
Yeah.
um, which made me feel terribly small. And I came from a very lovely, supposedly lovely middle class background. We had a lovely house, we had great things, but it doesn't mean you're not being conditioned or emotionally, I wouldn't call, abuse is a very strong word and I don't like that word, uh,
Yeah.
emotionally made small by the
Mm.
people around you, because they know that they have that power, and they get that slight ego kick from making you feel that, you know, the police are going to put you in jail, was one thing my
Yeah.
dad always used to say to me.
Yeah.
Another thing he would say is, you know, you're too clumsy, or you're, you know, there'd be things like leaving me in the middle of a cow field and finding it hilariously funny, knowing I was petrified of cows. You know, and when you actually break it down, it
Yeah.
is an emotional damage that is done
Mm.
from somebody thinking they think it's funny.
Yeah.
And you know, it's had a really big impact on my life. um, but I didn't realize that until he actually passed away 3 years ago, and then
Yeah.
it all started, that bit started unraveling. So that's sort of that bit of my journey.
Wow. Wow. I think you touched the key points is, this that I mean, most of us can relate to that, like emotionally be suppressed, right?
Yes.
And you are always performing instead of being who you true self. So as a child, oh my gosh, you're giving me goosebumps. As a child, because I can relate to this too. It's because, like, how did you keep it quiet? Like to process that as a child, how did you keep quiet about, like, and you knew something is more inside of you beginning when you were a child,
I
really?
think as a child, but and I know this now, between 0 and 7, we don't have that filter that we can say that's wrong, don't do that.
Mm,
It doesn't exist. So we're like little sponges. So everything that happens to
yeah,
us and what we're told, we believe. We truly believe it.
yeah,
And I'll give you another example of my daughter. Something happened to my daughter, and she was told that they would harm us if she said anything. And
yeah,
therefore, you know, that's what she believed. So, and many people will relate to that. They were told something between 0 and 7. They were ugly, they were fat, they were whatever. So I
yeah,
think as a child, you have no comprehension of the damage it's actually doing. But then it's not just parents, it's the school system. You know, I was a very bright child, but my elder sister, um, everyone compared me to my elder sister. And she was good at English and drama, which I was completely rubbish at, but I was good
yeah.
at maths and science. But it didn't matter I was good at maths and science,
Wow.
because the school system said, oh, but you're not like your sister.
Hmm.
So there's so much ingraining, whether it's from parents or school or just society. It could be grandparents, because we shoulder
Yeah,
ancestral baggage that goes back through our lineage,
yeah,
which we are given as a gift, um, when we are when we come into this world.
So, how long have you been carrying this? That what was your breaking point? You know.
I think my first wake up call was the Clapham train crash. I
Oh,
was
wow.
in my 20s.
Yeah.
We were sitting, I was sitting with some friends in the back carriage. We'd been out the night before,
Yeah.
and it's not a route I normally took. And I was sitting there, and a voice said to me, "You need to move up the carriage."
Wow. A voice.
A voice, very strong, but nobody obviously else heard the voice, but I heard this voice, and it was very distinct, very powerful, very
Wow.
energetic. Nearly you couldn't, I couldn't ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first spiritual awakening part, because I moved everybody. There was a group of three of us. I moved them all up the train, and they're going, "But we won't get seats. We won't this." I said, "Look, I'm going. You can come or you don't have to come. It's up to you."
Yeah.
And the back carriage of that train, literally 10 minutes after we moved, got wiped out.
Oh my gosh. That's devastating. Oh my gosh.
So I knew there was something. There was something there. But like, because we don't talk about it as a society, it's a very closed subject. Um,
Wow.
Everyone thought I was a little, I suppose, mad. Did it really happen? Did you just had a feeling? It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just a coincidence that you felt you had to move up
Yeah.
the train.
Yeah.
It was labeled in many different
Of
forms.
course. Yeah. Yeah.
So you then start not believing yourself.
Or your intuition, right? Or the
Yes,
voice.
yes. Because you then think, oh, but I can't have heard a voice.
Hmm. Isn't that interesting that the energy behind those people, without them knowing, that they're imposing their own fear on you not to
Yeah.
speak, you know? So, what did you do next in order to, did you protect that voice or did you ignore it completely?
Um, I have to be really honest. I ignored it completely.
Oh,
Because everybody around me um, said, "You're mad. You didn't hear anything.
yeah, I've
Yes,
been there.
thank you for saying
Yeah,
saving us, but you know, you can't have heard a voice."
yeah.
And so that's my 20s, and then there were a few other little wake up calls, um, but it wasn't really until I got um, I I worked for these people, and they were very narcissistic, and I worked for them for
Mm,
9 years,
9
and
years.
um, to the point that I could hear I could hear voices again.
Yeah, yeah. So they come back to you and say,
Yeah,
hello,
yeah, but
you're
these were
not
very
done with
different.
us.
Yeah,
But,
these are very different voices, because
oh,
these were
wow.
voices I recognized from my
Wow.
childhood.
Yeah. So when you say earlier, because you said that you want to explain that later, and this is the time now, and I feel that we need to also recognize and be aware and acknowledge it. Because I have my own story too, right? I started when I was a little girl as well. I heard voices and I called them angels, and I've written that in my book. And and listening to your story, and I'm glad we met. You know, we met online, and to our mutual friend, just to say to share this with you guys. And her story is pretty similar to mine. That she when you hear about an intuition or voice, call it whatever you want. Uh, Andrea is gonna share with us her unique story, because this is unique because I've never heard anyone before. So she's going to share with us, and I want you guys to have an open heart and an open mind to listen to this, because you too might be coming in here and say the same thing and share the same thing. So I want you guys to be encouraged by her story. So share with us.
So I'll go back to when I was a child. I had what the world defines as imaginary friends. And I think the
Mm,
majority of children have them, whether with Eleanora, it was angels,
yeah.
mine were dragons, the beautiful. I have two. I'm very blessed. I have two.
Wow.
And um, they have always been there, but I was the one that turned my back on them. And you have a you have a whole guide system. People, ancestors, angels,
Yeah,
dragons,
I believe.
unicorns,
Yeah.
archangels,
Yeah.
um, who are already and there and waiting for you. And but they
Mm.
will not come into your life unless you call them. So,
Yes.
and I had a day at work when it had got particularly bad, and I went out for a walk at lunchtime, and I went as far away from the office, and I literally screamed out and said, "If anyone's there, this is the time because I need you right now."
Wow. Right now.
Yeah, right now.
Wow.
And then, I just closed my eyes, took some deep breaths, and
Yeah.
I could visually see my two beautiful, beautiful dragons.
Oh my gosh.
Um, and and they were so excited to see me. It was like, why haven't you called us earlier?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so they they're they're just beautiful. I mean, I'm wearing orange today because orange is very symbolic,
Wow.
especially in the spiritual world.
Yes.
It's the color of the sacral chakra, which is where
Right. Yeah.
creativity comes from, which is where the dragons often come in because they're all to do with creating and giving me um, creating things like Enpower,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah.
I wouldn't that wouldn't be created unless it was for them.
Yeah.
And it it's a very powerful, bright color. It's the color of alchemy. This is the color of alchemy, and
Mm.
dragons are alchemists. So
Wow.
hence why the orange. They picked my outfit for me.
Yeah.
And I know there may many people find this really, really hard to
So
comprehend,
true. Yeah.
and it is complicated because it is a very taboo subject in our society.
It is.
And I think more people need to realize that there is so much support for
Mm-hmm.
us because we
Yeah.
were born unique. We were born really special. We were born with a crown on, and people told us to take our crown off because it didn't suit other people. It made people uncomfortable. And this is probably, I am standing here with my crown firmly on, and I
Yes.
know this is going to make people uncomfortable.
Well, it's about time to reveal your crown, my crown, and that way we come as a community more like a family. That because we have forgotten who we are, because that's what the
We have,
society wants us to be. I mean, it took
absolutely.
me years to even finalize my book and talk about angels, because I kept
Mm.
it quiet too. Like, like people might think, oh, you're going crazy, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like,
Yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
is the
I mean,
world
there's
gonna
some
be
people don't
ready?
even know
Like,
I've got them because
yeah,
they wouldn't understand. But
yeah, but
David White wrote a beautiful poem called
okay,
Sweet Darkness.
all
And
right.
in it, he said, anything or anyone that does not bring you alive is too small for you.
Say that again, like louder.
Anything or anyone that does not bring you alive is too small for you.
Wow, powerful. I
And this
love
is
that.
where I think my passion for sovereignty came because of my
Yeah,
dragons and realizing that we are so so conditioned. I was so conditioned to say yes to everything,
Mm-hmm.
please everybody. I mean, I've been one of the biggest people pleasers. Put You're taught. What is this world about when they say put your put others before yourself? Well, if you're
I
not
know.
functioning as you and you haven't come back home to your sovereign self, you can't be there for others because you're not serving them as who you truly are. You're not serving them with
Exactly.
your worth and your beauty and um, your your passion for life. You
Yeah.
know, we're here for a mission. Now, my mission is to empower people, and the reason for empower is it's in power. It's inside. Your
Mm.
power is inside. It's not in a
Yeah.
church. It's not in um
The
it's not in
society.
a society. It's not in a religion. The
Yeah.
only powerhouse is you.
Exactly. I
And
believe
this will
so.
be very controversial, and I know that. But you got to come home to
To yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
And this is what I have designed, a
Cool.
very a 4-week course, which is an intro course where
Mm-hmm.
we do a life audit. So you
Yeah.
really look at life, how it is, where you say yes all the time. And this is really difficult to do. It's
Yeah.
not easy because you have to be 100% totally honest to gain what you want out of the course.
Yeah.
So I say
When
I came on the course, I'd go, I'm a really big, I always say
mhm.
yes to everything. I give my life and soul to my family, and I never leave any room for me. I mean, that is an honest audit.
So when you say to go back to your dragons, that links
Yes.
to your mission, and
Yes.
you it sounds and not sounds more like seems to be you're expanding and expanding. They help you expand who you truly
Yes.
are, which is beautiful. You know, at the same time, we live in a world of a bubble called human earth, right? Like there's a different kind of mentality here, but we're trying to pay forward to contribute because we have remembered who we are.
Yeah.
Even though some of us are not fully there, but at least we're paying it forward. But how can you invite others and explain to them what is that RTT that in your courses is about links to dragons? What if their dragon is still asleep, or not their dragon, it's more like themselves is still asleep? How can you help them wake up their dragons
Uh-huh.
in them? Like I am helping people wake up that they too have guardian angels, right? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
how can we help them wake up their dragons? Because I believe dragons are waking up, but they don't know how. It's the how, right?
Well, that's what I say. You. That's why we do the life audit first, because that
Mm-hmm.
gets people into realizing how far adrift they are from
Yeah.
who they truly are. Because if you're
Mm-hmm.
not who you truly are, it's very hard for your guides to. You nearly need to be at rock bottom
Oh yeah.
to invite them in, because that's the only point. Your heart is so open, so bleeding,
And
so the
pure.
tears are coming, you're so unhappy, you're screaming inside your head, um is how I would say. I mean, it's when
Yeah.
you're um and that's when you are vulnerable enough to ask. So by doing the life audit, we
Mm-hmm.
then make people vulnerable,
Wow. Wow.
and then we also get them to understand their nervous system, because what they
Yes.
have to understand, in order to call
Yeah.
your spirit guides in, you have to be in the right part of the nervous system. And
Yes.
we know there are 3 states,
Yes.
and we want to be in that the polyvagal state, because that's the expansion state. And
Right.
most of us live in that middle state, where we're anxious, we're making decisions from fear, we're um, you know, it's all driven by fear. If you look at the average day of a person, how much fear is coming into their lives, the news, the headlines, social media, they're bombarded with, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Um, for an example, my a friend of mine goes, "Oh, but there's going to be this war in 2030." 2030 is 4 years away.
Yeah.
Who is feeding us information that's making us scared that we're scared about 2030?
Yeah.
I mean, 2030 has other connotations, but we won't go there tonight. I don't think we've got the
Yeah.
time. But
The time is
so the
now.
nervous system is understanding the
Yeah.
state, and then I use the rapid transformation therapy, which
Nice.
is like hypnosis on steroids.
Oh, wow.
So basically, we destroy old beliefs.
Mm.
So and then we create new beliefs that make you more open. And I also can do one where I take people to see up the stairs to see into their beautiful room of bliss, and
Yeah.
they can meet their guides up there. So there are many different ways of doing it, but the thing about rapid transformational therapy is I can weave the patterns of thoughts that person wants. So when people come to me, it's like, I feel like this, I want
Yeah.
to feel like this. And then I do a session with them, I make a recording, and then it's a recording that helps their subconscious mind let go of the old and rewire. Because the fabulous thing, and Joe Dispenza's proved
Yes.
this, is that we can rewire at any age.
Yes.
We can build new neurons. We can change our DNA. We
Yeah.
can, we can rewire our brains. We don't have to be the past.
Nope.
We don't
I,
have to carry the burden of the ancestral patterns. All of this can be broken. And
yeah.
that, I am so, so excited for everybody here, because you're never too old.
Nope.
You know, it doesn't have to happen when you're young. You can do it at 90 and
Exactly.
rewire yourself. And this is it's so exciting, if we can wake people up to realize that they can take their power back, rewire their system, discover their guides. I mean, my guardian angel's called Theo, and he's gorgeous. And talking about guardian angels, and I've known him since I was a child as well. But they're
Wow.
all there. But we have this thing called free will,
Yes, you
um,
do.
and that was what was given to us. How whichever story you're told, Adam and Eve,
Yeah.
the galactic story,
Yeah.
there's many stories, but the whole point was we were given free will.
Yeah.
And that's why your guides and angels and dragons and many beautiful creatures cannot be in your life because you haven't invited them.
Yeah. That's so true because I used to be so afraid even when the first time my angel showed up in my life because of my environment too. Like you said, you've been bombarded with different information. And speaking of what you shared a while ago in our private conversation a while back about narcissistic
Mm-hmm.
conditioning,
Mm.
could you share with us? Because I was also in that environment, but it was my mom who was a narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, condition you do this, do that, to the point you almost lost yourself. So how did you also manage, or manage, if that's the right word, manage to like have the sense of you keep living, not giving up on yourself while you're surrounded, your environment is conditioned through narcissistic way of mentality of like how did you survive from survival to thriving?
Um, yeah, I mean, my bosses there were two of them, and they each said each other were narcissists. narcissists, but the truth was they were both narcissists.
Okay.
They had a they worked together. They had a very toxic marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and they brought that toxicity into the workplace. One minute they would be as nice as pie, and you'd put your guard down, you'd
Yeah.
relax,
Yeah.
and then
Mm.
in a matter of seconds, it's like a switch turned in their heads, and you had no warning. They would say something, and you would feel as tiny as a little ant on the floor.
Yeah.
And it was the constant thing of this happening that made you started off confident and enjoying the job and everything
Yeah.
seemed fine, and then over time their behavior crushed you
Mm.
and crushed you. But what people really have to understand about it's narcissists create a codependent relationship with the person that they're being narcissistic to.
Wow.
So it's very hard to get out.
Yeah, it takes years.
And I tried to leave a couple of times, and every
Mm.
time I was drawn back into the web. I mean, it's like being in the spider's web. You know, you're
Yes.
just made to feel small, 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 and then you say you're leaving, and then you're the best thing since sliced bread, and you go, "All right, I'll forgive them. They won't do it again."
Yeah.
But you know they will.
Yeah.
But you've been so conditioned
Yeah.
that you actually are helping them,
Enabling.
that you stay. And
Yeah.
this is when you hear people a lot say, well, why doesn't she leave him or he leave her,
Yeah.
or um, you leave home from unparent. But actually, the power that they have, the hold.
Mm.
And people used to say, well, why don't you just leave your job? It's not that simple. There
No.
is something, and trying to unravel it and name it, but it's the more you stay, the deeper it goes, and the harder it is to leave. Now, I had that day where I'd found my dragons while being in the work, and
Yeah.
then I got to one day, and I was sitting at my desk, and they'd always say something when the other staff weren't there, and they did it to all the staff, by the way. I wasn't a one-off,
Wow.
but they were very clever that they picked their time of when they would say something. So it's
Wow.
usually when you were alone with them, so you had no backup, no witness, nothing.
Wow.
I
Wow.
would say I probably got more of it because I'm a nice person and I tried very hard to protect the others, because I would
Right.
put myself in the firing line rather than put them in there.
Mm.
Again,
Wow.
a beautiful part of my personality, but it can be a flaw at times.
I love the
But
transparency. Yeah.
yeah, so you're sort of the protector role. And on the last day I was there, I got up. I can remember my she said something that was really not true. None of it was true, but
Yeah.
your perception says yes, they must be right, because that's that's how they've conditioned you. And my lovely dragons literally said to me, "Get up out your chair, pick up your car keys,
Wow.
and go."
That was clear, right?
Yeah, but they
Wow.
hadn't done it previous to that, and I think I was ignoring them because I didn't want to hear it. And when it gets to that real point, then and I'd sort of obviously given them that permission in my head
Yeah.
to say something, and
Yeah.
that's so they and now they're with me all the time.
Yeah.
But it's taken me 50 something years to get to this point. It's been a long road, I tell you.
Well, at least the good news is that you have said yes to
Yes.
them, right?
Yeah.
Unlike some other people, they're still afraid and they'll never discover it. And here you are sharing that gift to the world. And I think it's about time to let the world know that the dragon is awakening to those who
Yeah.
are willing to be one in harmony with them as well, because we are all creation, and like you said,
Yeah.
we are here to create, and we're not supposed to be alone. And it's great to have a a guide like dragons or angels. I think it's wonderful because you don't feel alone, right?
No, and you're never alone. But Pete, so, I think society, like if people are in a couple and they're married, they're safe. If you're on your own in a restaurant, everyone feels sorry for you. And and
I know.
and that's how society's worked. It's always, this is the rules. And
Yeah.
I think, I've been to Fiji on my own, to retreats.
Yeah.
I've been to Dubai on my own,
Nice.
and uh, and I feel empowered enough to be able to do those things
Yes.
now. But I wouldn't have done those things if in my small conditioned self, because I would have listened to those voices that say to me, you're not able to do this because you need your husband to be with you in order to travel. And when I went to Fiji, I had to catch two planes, go through the USA, which was always a nightmare, because you have to get off the plane, re-find your luggage, get on another plane, and hope your luggage
Yeah.
is it been put on the right. But I did it, and it was a real proof to me that being on your own is not um, a downside. Being on your
No.
own is very empowering. Claiming your own space, your own time, um, doing what you're passionate about, and not being a clone of somebody else. And
Yeah,
I
that's the
think,
thing. Yeah, that's the thing
in
about the society is it teaches us to look for the answer outside of us.
yes,
And
yes,
what you and I are trying to give out there is that the answer is within you, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what can you say, especially to your audience, they're women, mothers, young and old, and how can you encourage them or empower them to speak up their voice, to finally speak up their voice and say yes to your inner guide, your intuition, call it whatever. So what what is your greatest advice or empowerment?
I would really, really say it is very hard to do on your own.
Mm,
Um, and that's the honest truth, because you don't know where to begin.
mm,
And I think the whole reason for creating Empower was because when at the time I did do it on my own, but I had to read. I mean, I've read copious amounts of books, all of Joe Dispenza's books.
yeah,
I've been on Mind Valley and done tons of um, courses.
yeah.
Um, I went to Fiji with Alex Tripod.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, which was very eye opening again. Um, I've done spiritual work with Athena Bailey, who's a
Yeah,
channeler. So been I have been like a sponge, wanting to know how it all works. But a lot of people, they don't have the time or the finances to do that. And Empower was created for these women to come
mm,
and, I mean, it's a 4-week course. I know
yeah,
people say I haven't got time. It's an excuse. Everyone's got
yeah,
time,
yeah.
um, time and space. You know, we we
Yes,
we we would all fit into an ice cube. The world would fit into an ice cube if we took out all the space, all the gaps.
yeah.
You know, would be
I
interesting.
totally agree, because we need to condition ourselves first to unlearn what we've been conditioned,
Yeah.
that oh it that you are not enough, oh you can't afford this, blah blah blah, like excuses stories. But if
Hmm.
you're really hungry enough, like you say, you need to be at the bottom of your life in order to see your dragons or angels, or to see yourself, you
Yeah.
know. In that way you find yourself one day, and create that one day into today, that you no more saying I cannot afford this, or I cannot attend that, or I cannot do this and that. But at the same time, this is for you, like for these people, like I used to be. I used to be like, I can't afford this, and look where I am right now. I create what the angels or dragons are trying to say to us is create from nothing.
Yeah. But we can, the quantum field has everything in it.
Yeah.
And all the lives are running parallel. Again, this will blow people's minds, I know. But all the
Let's bring
lives are
it.
running parallel. So you can skip to the next life. But
Yeah.
you have to understand that it's not through hard graft and the traditional way that you've been told you don't get anything unless you work hard. You have to go and connect to the
To the higher.
quantum.
Yes. The
And you
quantum.
also have to use Mother Gaia energy, that's the
Yeah.
earth energy,
Yeah.
and connect from the earth to your higher self and beyond. And
Yeah.
it's it's not difficult. I'm going to say this to everyone here. It is not difficult. You don't
Mm.
have to be a guru.
Mm.
You don't have to sit in a cave for 20 years um, and eat the earth. It is available. It's available to everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting to, my mission is to break it down and
Yes.
provide really basic situations and give them like a hold their hand. It's a safe community where you can ask any questions. You
You're
know,
right.
I'm not going to, you know, I've had these weird and wonderful things happen to me. I have more and more happen all the time because the more open you get, the more the more wow it
Yeah.
gets. I
Yeah.
mean, one of my expression is when I sign off to people is be wow, and that's
Yeah.
a wonderful woman of worth.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Well, Andrea, I would like to go more in great details with it, but I have more questions before we go. Is that
Yeah.
what would you say to your younger self, and to any younger woman out there who, let's say someone out there have similar stories like
Hmm.
yours, and she's young, and she's feeling this, oh yeah, I do have dragons or angels, I want to connect. How, like, what would you say to her? And then after that, like, like, how are the people going to connect with you? So let's, yeah.
Right. To my younger self, I'd say believe and follow your intuition
Mm,
because it was always right,
wow.
and ignore what's going on around you because they don't understand.
Mm,
Because if I'd ignored everybody, um, I would have, my journey would have been very different. But I'm
yeah.
also a great believer in saying to
Yeah.
my younger self that we, and people are going to find this quite hard to take.
Bring it.
I'll give you a warning. Um, we came on earth to have events happen to us to make us strong enough to do the mission we came for.
Mm, truth bomb right there. Truth bomb.
So, however rubbish things seem, however, and things have happened in our family life
Yeah.
that have been, I'm not going to divulge, but real trauma. Um, it made me a lioness. It made me the person who I am now. It gave me the strength and courage to become my true self. It gave me the courage to know that I could face any adversity, because what we faced was so dreadful and traumatic. And so came out, and we came out as a family as a much stronger, much more resilient, much more courageous. So I know a lot of you will be sitting there and you've had some really traumatic,
Mm,
awful things happen in life. But how you've got to look at it, what has that brought you that you can use in your mission? Because they happened, because it makes you have your message and makes your message stronger.
that's right.
So don't look at it, shit happened, I'm going to cry, I'm going to become a victim. Stop right
Yeah.
now. It's happened. Yes. It's horrible. Yes. But what can it give you that will make you a better human doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because, and doing, I don't mean in the sense of doing having to graft, but doing as in doing your mission.
Wow. Beautiful.
So that is really tough for people to take, because
Mm-hmm.
we're taught to be victims.
Yeah.
But from my own experience of narcissists and trauma, I believe that it's all happened to me and others around me
Mm-hmm.
as part of my mission to make me stronger, more resilient, more courageous, and to have a better relationship with my spiritual family.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Wow, that is really on point. Thank you for very much for that. And how can they where can they reach you if they wanna have a sessions with you privately?
The best way to contact me is probably through LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah.
Send me a DM. I'm under Andrea Tennant Cox, so I'm very easy to find. And the website for the course is in production as we speak. Should be finished by the end of the week, but I will post it in LinkedIn.
Yeah, I will
So
also
that's,
post it here. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So that will be connected in the next, well, hopefully by the beginning of next week, that will be up and running so that they can see what the course is. But if they want a private session with me, and they're very serious about their journey, I do offer that as well.
All right.
Um,
Sounds good.
because rapid transformational therapy and meeting your guides in a very safe thing. I mean, some people will go up there and they won't meet their guides because they're not being open enough. So you've got
Yeah.
to be at a point where
Yeah.
you feel open
That's
and you
true.
want to meet them, because you know
Yeah.
they free will. You have free will to say
Exactly. Yeah.
no, I don't want to meet them, and
Yeah.
that's fine too. But
Yeah.
you're missing out big time. All I
Big
can say
time. I
is,
know.
you know, be a wonderful woman of worth. Take the power back.
Yeah.
You know, be who you truly were here to be. You know,
Yeah.
you see clearly. You know, feel safe being you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And conditioning is just a way to keep us in fear mode.
Yes.
So the world keeps us small, because then we're easy to manage and we don't go off into the quantum and create incredible lives, because that's not what society wants us to be doing. And we all
Exactly.
know that's true.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
you are a living example,
yeah,
and now you're speaking up. And for the people who are hearing this, I'd like you to remember that always choose someone you can feel safe with
yes,
to tell your story. Like, go to Andrea, check her out, because I feel safe when I talk to her and share my vulnerable stories about angels. To and it's not only that, you become like a community of people where you feel heard, valued, and understood, right? Yeah, so I encourage you to go check her out and connect with her. And if you want to go deeper, she is also available for a deeper sessions with you. And why not, rather than spend your the rest of your life doing the same Monday from Monday to Sunday, right? And you feel like that's, like, is this what life is all about? Yeah. No, it's not, Yeah, is there any more anything you want to say to our audience who are listening here?
Yeah, I'm going to end it with the quote I said at the beginning. You were not born to live a small life. You were
Mm-hmm.
born with a crown on your head.
Mm,
You were born a warrior princess, a queen, whatever your depiction is. I mean, I'm the warrior princess, and I'm very proud to wear my crown. And
mm-hmm.
put your crown on.
Yeah.
Own your sassy, wonderful self that's inside of here.
Yeah.
You only have one life
Yes.
on as you stand, but that's another subject. You only
Yes.
have one life, live it. Put
Yeah.
that crown back on and be the woman that you were born to be.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you very much for that. I mean, you look so lovely with your dragon colors, and I love your outfit. And just like that, be your own color, be your own dragon, be your own self, and be the warrior princess or queen that you are. So thank you very much. I look forward to have you for another deeper sessions next time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so
And
connect
thank
with
you so
Andrea.
much. Thank you
You,
so much. Thank you to the beautiful audience. And I hope that, you find you and come back
yes.
home to yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. And you're welcome, Andrea. Thank you for this space, sacred space. All right, ladies and gents, we're going to end here. And thank you for joining us. And don't forget to connect with Andrea and me. You can find me as well on Instagram, Facebook, and my own website, www.eleanorahart.com, and Instagram, Grace Through Journey. All right. Thank you very much and see you soon.